Is the future of Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball in general going to be CG from here on out? With the trailer or teaser release for the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie, we see that Goku is in fact CGI. Now, I did a poll on my channel and I've been asking around, and lots of fans really just want to wait to see more before making any judgments. Of course, there's going to be some who immediately despise it. We don't know how the movie is going to look yet. We just have the little teaser, and with them using all sorts of new technologies, it could look pretty good. It could look very good. We just simply don't know yet. But it took fans by surprise because for the 20th anniversary special, we got this Shintani cut of all this slice of life scenes, and fans love this. I mean, fans absolutely loved Dragon Ball Super Broly, and we're hoping that the future of Dragon Ball would be in this Shintani style with the thick and gooey line filter. Now, we've had CGI for Dragon Ball Super movies in the past, even Resurrection F, and even in Broly, and you can see that Toei has been getting progressively better, but it's still jarring to the eye when you immediately swap from 2D to 3D. So I think this is going to be their first attempt at a full 3D or full CGI movie. But if you take a look at the trailer, I mean, they really put a lot of work into making it feel like it's 2D animation. The only problem is with 3D animation, the characters tend to be pretty stiff. But if you look at the other CGI fights from Dragon Ball Super movies, you can tell that they mix in 2D shots to really try their best to sell it like it's still 2D. So you can tell that they're going to be putting a ridiculous amount of work into every frame, correcting it, doing anything they can to every single frame to modify it to make it feel more comfortable to the viewer. Thus far, we really don't know yet how it's going to look and feel. My only real concern is this going to feel stiff? The trailer feels a little stiff, but not too bad. They're using foreshortening and everything like that, so Goku's movements still look pretty good. But again, we're going to have to wait and see till we get a real trailer for the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie before we can make any more judgments. I'm sure we'll get up something like 3 to 5 trailers like they did for Broly. Now, the question is, why would they switch over to CGI? They had expressed some interest in attempting to make a CGI Dragon Ball film in the past, and as we've seen, they've continually used it throughout the various Dragon Ball Super movies. So why are they trying to transition to a full CGI movie? One of the main reasons is flexibility of animators. By using CGI, they can bring in 3D animators who are good at puppeteering, and they don't have to rely solely on their super talented 2D animation staff who may be working on other projects or may eventually quit. I think a large concern of Toei's is that reliance on those 2D animators. By using more CG, they're able to bring in a lot of various talent from other areas and keep the series going. However, I don't really think that's the main issue on why they're transitioning to CG. They could get WebGen animators, they could find the staff to continue doing Dragon Ball Super in 2D. The main reason, I believe, really is that it just simply comes down to money and production stability. When I interviewed Afro Samurai producer Eric Calderon, I asked him, is it more expensive or less expensive to make CGI versus 2D animation? And he said that 2D animation is usually just a flat amount of cost, whereas 3D starts at a huge amount of cost, much more than 2D, but then slowly levels off to the point where once you have all the assets built in the beginning, which is where all that upfront cost comes from, then it becomes relatively inexpensive to continue the series. So if they're able to create all of these assets for Goku and the other various characters in CGI, this movie may cost them a ridiculous amount to create simply because they have to create all of those assets now. But that means that the future of Dragon Ball would be less expensive. So if they're thinking more in terms of the long term, this would be the optimal way to go. And I really think that they're going to milk Dragon Ball Super for as long as they possibly can. It's the biggest cash cow for them next to One Piece, which leads me into the next question and answer. Is Dragon Ball Super's return going to be CGI as well? That would be particularly jarring to the audience to have all of Dragon Ball Super so far be animated in 2D and then swap to CGI for the Moro arc. It's possible, but if it's not in production already, which it probably isn't, then my guess is they're going to stick with 2D until they see the success of this movie. The success of this movie and fan reactions are going to be incredibly important. Toei is taking a large risk here, which is very unlike them creating a slice of life movie using full CGI. This is something that old school Dragon Ball fans would particularly enjoy, but new age Dragon Ball fans, or even those who enjoy Dragon Ball Z mainly for the fights, are not going to be particularly super hyped about this. It seems like a lot of fans think that this movie's going to be focused around Pan, and they're very excited about that. Personally, I don't really get it. I love Dragon Ball Super Broly because of the great animation and art, the incredible fight scenes, the artistic scenery and direction, and bringing back an old character which we all love, Broly. We knew going into Dragon Ball Super Broly that there was going to be a lot of action, and it did not disappoint. Now, they've been saying that this movie will have a lot of intense bouts, and not to worry, it's still going to have a lot of action, but it's more of a slice of life film. My guess is Pan has grown up a little bit. Maybe she's around the age of 3 or 4, something like that. So there will be probably a time skip. Hopefully Goten and Trunks will be adults. And I feel like this movie is really going to be centered around Pan and her desire to be a superhero. Children look up to superheroes, and maybe she's either watching something on TV or she looks up to Goku and Vegeta and wants to be a hero as well. And maybe Piccolo will take his route as a sensei like he did for Kid Gohan, training Pan in the ways of combat. The reason I think this is because they're making a big fuss about revealing Piccolo's house. He has a Namekian building on Earth somewhere, and they've never showed his house before, so maybe he's training Pan at his house or something like that. Now, if we get a lot of Piccolo on scenery, I'm 100% okay with that. He's one of my favorite characters, and I'd love to see him come back into the limelight somehow. But the question remains, will there even be a big bad in this movie? Is Goku and Vegeta going to have to step up to take down some super powerful villain? From right now, it doesn't really seem like it, but again, we're going to need more details on the movie before we can make any judgments on that. My guess is that as long as this movie performs well and makes money, they're going to continue to do Dragon Ball Super movies in this format in the future. Unless something goes incredibly haywire and their entire fan base turns against them because they just simply hate this movie, which overseas audiences, I could see that depending on what they do. You give us a full CGI slice of life movie without Goku and Vegeta fighting a big bad, which is what a lot of overseas audience really is there for. Fans actually may hate it, and if the sales numbers aren't good, I can guarantee you Toei, who cares so much about money, will definitely go back to 2D for the future. So I think this is a very critical moment for them as a business to see the future of Dragon Ball. If the movie performs and they make a lot of bread, they're going to keep making movies like this. And if they have any production problems with the continuation of the Dragon Ball Super anime, it is also possible that they could make the anime like this as well. That's not super likely at this point, but again, it really relies on the success, the production issues, everything that's going on behind the scenes at Toei. My guess is that they have the next 5+ years planned out for Dragon Ball content in terms of movies. I can almost guarantee you there will be another one after this, and the anime's return as well. If they can get this new technology down, which they're using for this movie, and they're able to perfect it, and it eases the production problems and scheduling and costs and everything associated with producing a 2D animated movie, they could potentially crank out one of these movies every year, or maybe every 2, which I would definitely be okay with. But again, all of this really relies on the success of this movie. It's so critical that this movie makes a lot of money, and it's so critical that fans really adore and enjoy this movie. Otherwise, this huge investment for this full CGI film will probably go down the tubes, and they'll probably have to move backwards to 2D yet again. I think Toei is really just trying to get with the times. They've seen the success of Demon Slayer and other animes transitioning to CGI, and they're trying to develop that side of the market as well. But I think they're really missing something here. The art in Dragon Ball is something that fans love the most about the series. And by giving us a stiff Goku that always looks the same, you're never going to have some compelling artist like Takahashi or Shida come in just to draw him really badass for a shot or two. You're not going to have those highlight moments, and you're going to lose the magic of that 2D animation. I think Toei may be really overstepping their bounds in this case, forgetting that the art is what fans enjoy so much about this series. They could very possibly still add in 2D frames or modify the model in order to make it look different in various shots. We really don't know yet, so we'll have to reserve judgments for when we see more. I'm Mastar, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and comment down below with what you think about the CGI film. Of course, I'll be making updates as soon as we get any more information, so click those notification bells on.